Okay, we'll continue with this topic. The topic is this world and the world to come. And we started it last time. Let me just repeat the main points. When God created the world, the creation is bigger than we think. What we are aware of right now is part of the creation. The creation is bigger and it divided to two major sections. The first one is what we call Ha'olam Hazeh, this world. This world is the small part of the big picture. The creation include the world to come, which has a few differences between those two sections. This world, called also the world of challenge or the world of work. We have a mission here. And next word is the word of the reward over what we did in this world that's called Olam Avodah, the world of work or the world of challenge. Because the purpose is to give, God wants to give human beings eternal reward. And in order for them to be the owners of this reward, He put them first in a place that they could gain their rights to get this reward. So this word is the word of working to create the tools in order to get the real thing in the world to come. So I cannot repeat the entire thing. I'll just say that a human being is a combination of a body and a soul, and the body of the soul give us the ability to be a free willer. And we spoke about this in the other lecture about how the free will is possible only because we have those two opposite elements, the spiritual one, which is the neshama, the soul, and the physical, which is the body. Anyway, those two together has three realms that we could choose to do. The realms are the action, speech, and thought. And each one of those three could be either good or not good. So in the time that we have in this world, each one of us, meaning the individual, from the age of bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, from the age of 13 in one day, in the first day of 14 in boys, and the first day of 13 in girls, 12 in one day, to the end of the life, 80 years until 120. Everything that we do in those three realms, action, speech, and thought, registered. They have an impact. And the simple rule is, if it's a good action, the impact will be good. If it's a good speech, the impact will be good. If it's a good thought, the impact will be good. And vice versa. There's no such a thing that there will be something, either action, speech, or thought, that have no impact. No such a thing. And the impact is straight of what did you do. Now, let's go to the end part of last week class. Imagine someone who passed away at the age of 83. Why 83? Because I want a round number. If you ask me how 83 is a round number, because we counting, or from the age of 13 of bar mitzvah, we have 70 years of action, speech, and thought. Okay, when the time of the person to finish his job in this world, and there is a separation between the body and the soul, the body goes to the ground, to the grave of everyone, the good people and the less good people. The neshama of everyone, the soul of everyone, goes upstairs, and the day of the death is a judgment day for this soul. So the neshama, the soul, come upstairs to the spiritual court with a package that includes every single action, speech, or thought that this person did during those 70 years. Okay? The judgment, and this is very, very important, the judgment at the day of death is on one thing. What this neshama goes from now on. And there are a few options, I'll mention them. But this is the judgment. What's this neshama gonna do? Let me just, by the way, mention the bigger picture. There are 3 judgment days in the world, in the universe, in the creation. 3 judgment days. One of them is every beginning of a year. Every Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the first day of the year, is a judgment day. Like this, we have 6,000 days of judgment since the creation to the end of the time that God gave to this creation to exist, to this section of the creation, which is Ha'olam Hazeh. We have 6,000 years. Every year, in the beginning of the year, there is a judgment in the first day of the year, which is Rosh Hashanah. What is the judgment about? Very, very important to know it. The judgment includes all the people that are alive today in the world. Only the living people and only the people who are in this generation. Now that includes everyone, Jews or non-Jews. כל באי עולם עוברים לפניו כבני מרון. Every human being judged on Rosh Hashanah, on the Jewish Rosh Hashanah. The Goyim even, the Gentiles even do not know about it, but it doesn't make a difference. There is a judgment. Now what the judgment is about? The judgment is about the Rosh Hashanah. What's going to happen with this particular person, every human being, every person, in the next year. If they continue to live another year, and if, how, everything, how much money they will make, how healthy they will be, all this judged and decided on the first day of the year. Okay? But this judgment is for the people who are alive today, in this generation. The other day of judgment is the judgment at the day of the death of a person. So the first Rosh Hashanah is in the same day for everyone. The second day of judgment is for every individual at the day they finish their life in this world. Now the judgment is only about what the neshama gonna do from now on. The body is in the grave. What's the neshama? Where the soul going? This is the topic of this judgment. Now there are a few options. Let me first give a list of them and then we'll try to explain them. The best option is that the soul goes to the Garden of Eden. Now Garden of Eden is not the world to come. Is not. We'll explain the Garden of Eden later. There are 2 kinds of Garden of Eden. The one who is here in this world, where Adam and Chava was in the beginning of the creation. Of course, it's hidden from our eyes because God chased them out of Gan Eden and He put guards to keep us from getting there. It says in the pasuk, in the verse in Genesis, "Vayigaresh et Adam." Hashem chased out Adam and Chava from Gan Eden. "Vayashkem mikedem leGan Eden," and He put in the gates of Gan Eden 2 guards with their very interesting names. "וישכן מקדם לגן עדן את הכרובים ואת להט החרב המתהפכת." The Kruvim are 2 angels that look like babies or kids with wings. That's the Kruvim. And something else called להט החרב המתהפכת, a sword that has 2 sides to each side, And those are, of course, spiritual guards who guard us or prevent us from reaching to this place. This place is in here, in this world, but we have no access to it since then. So the souls, after 120, the one who are lucky, and I'll explain in what it depends, goes there to Gan Eden. They will stay there for a while, and then they will go up to the spiritual Garden of Eden, which is Gan Eden Ha'elyon, according to the, if I use the words of the Kabbalah, the upper Gan Eden. There are Gan Eden HaTachton, the lower Gan Eden, and the upper Gan Eden. So this is one option. Other option, and we explain which soul goes where and how and why. Okay? Of course, all the information comes from the Torah. I'm not making up anything. It's not a theory. I'm just a channel to give you what the Torah says about this in the deepest level of the Torah, and the Midrash, and the Kabbalah. The other option is purified first, because Gan Eden is a place that only when you clearly purified, the soul is clearly purified, no debts, the neshama could go to Gan Eden. If the soul has a lot of good stuff, but they have even one thing that's not good, they could not actualize their portion or their part in Gan Eden, in the Garden of Eden. They have to purify it first. The purification place called Gehinom. Gehinom, we should explain what is it, because it's people are really mixed up about it. But Gehinom is not hell. Hell is the thing that caused so many confused about this, so much confused. Gehinom is a purification system that take away all the debts, all the impact of the evil stuff that people did in this world in action, speech, and thought. After cleaning them up, they will go to Gan Eden, to the Garden of Eden, with the merits that they have. Okay? So those are two options. Either go straight to the Garden of Eden, or first go through the purification system and then go to Gan Eden. Now there are another two options which need to explain in details, but it will take a long time. I'm not sure we'll get to them today, but we have a series, so we'll cover it the way it is. One of them called Kafakela. Kafakela is like a sling shot that this soul, and this is worse than going to the purification first to Gehinom, because Gehinom is, at the end of it, it's cleaning this soul out. Kafakela is a sling, like the Gemara bring, like, you know, it's not the way it is, it's just a parable. You remember, you know about the sling of David when he hit Goliath, the sling? So you have a stone or a rock, and you take it and put it in the sling, and it will fly. It will fly all the way to the other side of the world. That's what the Gemara said. In the other side, there is another sling that get it, take it again, and sling it and shut it back. And it goes this way for a long, long time, which is the meaning of this, that there is no rest to this soul. The soul will be in no room, in no space to be, in no rest. Why people will go there, or which souls goes to this place, we'll speak about it when, now I'm just giving the general description. The fourth option is very interesting one. It's called reincarnation. The soul is not ready to go to the Garden of Eden. It's not deserved, or it's not good or enough to go to the purification system, and it's not goes to this links system. It has to come back to this world. So the soul could stay somewhere until, but then this soul will come back to this world in a different body, in a different time in the history, and when we'll get there, we'll explain what are the conditions, why some souls come again to this world, and for what purpose. Okay, but those are basically the 4 options. Can we got it? So at the end of the life of this person in this world, when the neshama, the soul separates, the bodies, the soul goes to the core upstairs court, and the discussion or the decision should be made about what next, what's the next step of this neshama. Either Garden of Eden, purification, and then Garden of Eden, the sling system, kafakela, or reincarnation. Now, I start last week to explain what's happening before. So let's repeat this. So remember, we said that when the neshama, the soul separates the body goes to the grave. The soul, which is the spiritual dimension of the human being, goes up to the court, coming with a package of everything that the neshama, the soul, did with the body in action, speech, and thought. Okay? Now it comes upstairs, and here's the situation. Remember, we saw it last week. So imagine now everyone comes with a different package because everyone did different things with their free will. I put over here an example of someone who is not completely evil and not completely righteous. In order to make it clear, I just put it in round numbers. So imagine that this box is the package, include 100% of all the action, speech, and thought that this person did. Okay, in the 70 years since he was 13. The first thing that this package go screening in a very sophisticated computers upstairs, and divide all the action to the good action and the evil action. Action meaning action, speech, and thought. Okay? Imagine that will be the result. From 100% will be 10% merits, good things, in all 3 areas, and 90% debts. The next step will be take the merits and put them aside. They are not now discussed. In the judgment, the court will have to decide what to do with the 90% of debts, of evil things that had impact. Now the rule is the following. The one who creates the debts is responsible to take them away. This is the rule. This is the meaning of no action without impact, no speech without impact, no thought without impact. Now, because you did, let's talk about this neshama, this soul. Because you, with the body, did this action, you're responsible to it. Now, how do you take, now, the difference between the merits and the debts, the merits are things that since you created them, it will be there forever. Forever. No one could take this from you. This is yours. Therefore, now we put the merit aside. The debts exist in order to be eliminated. That's the difference between evil and good. Good is eternal, evil is temporary. But because you created it, it's there. But it could not be there. Therefore, you have to eliminate it. There are 3 systems of how to eliminate negative impacts. So we saw them last week, but didn't explain them enough. So let's go again. Okay, so we take now this 90% of negative impact and we'll put it in a big box. Okay, this is the box. Now after the 19%, we have now 100% of the negative things that this person did. The first system to eliminate the negativity, eliminate the negative impact, called suffering, yisurim. And upstairs in court, they checking out all the suffering that this person, when he was alive, the body and the soul, had in this world. And there is a way to measure the suffering and to measure how much of this suffering has impact in order to eliminate the negative things, the negative debts. So imagine all the suffering that this person has power to erase, to eliminate 1/3 of the entire package. 1/3. This suffering, we're talking about the suffering that this person went through when he was alive in this world. There is a rule called Yisurim Memarkim Avonot. Suffering, cleaning sins. I didn't explain this last week, and let me explain this here. Listen to it. What do you mean suffering? So the Gemara in Masechet Erkin, Daf Tet Zayin, the Gemara asks, what is suffering? What do you mean suffering? So let's see the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Ad Eicham Tachlit Yisurim. What will be the last thing, the edge of suffering? Of course, if someone have pain, this is suffering. Could be physical pain, could be emotional pain. Pain is suffering, right? But here the Gemara want to give us what is the subtle thing that consider suffering. Of course, everything that worse than this is included. So see what the Gemara says. What will be the degree that considers suffering? אמר רבי אלעזר, כל שאמרו לו בגד ללבוש ואינו מתקבל עליו. Imagine someone went to the tailor, you want to have a new suit, you went to a good tailor. The tailor did all the work, he did the suit, the person come home, put the suit on, the sleeves are short or long. So, you could return it, you could fix it, but you have some frustration. This little frustration is also considered suffering. So the Gemara give you the edge. Of course, everything that's more painful than that. But even that. You give another example. Someone wake up in the morning, it's still dark outside, he put his hand on the shirt and then he realized that the sleeve is just turned. So you have to take off the shirt and put it back again. Even that, consider this little frustration is also part of consider ייסורים. במתנית הטענה אפילו הושיט ידו לכיס ליטול 3 ועלו בידו 2. Even if he put his hand in his pocket in order to take 3 coins and only 2 got. So he has to return his hand to take the other one. Even that also considers suffering. So every not good thing that happened that you're not happy with, consider suffering. Now, each suffering has power to eliminate, because we are here in order to be happy. So anything that not make us happy is something negative, right? Something not good. This negative feeling has power to clean up some of the sins that we did in this world. Now the question is, why? How it works. How it works. Let me explain to this and listen to it because it's deep. In order to understand the concept, why suffering has a power to eliminate sins or impact of negative acts, the answer is the following. Human beings are the only one who has a free will. They are free willers, right? In order to be a free willer, God gave us tools. Aside from the body and the soul, God gave us ability to think. We are intelligent creatures. Now, what is a free will? Free will is when you stand in front of a dilemma. You have two options. The two options are good and evil. And your free will is what you choose, this one or this one. Now let me ask you a hard question. If you're an intelligent creature and you have two options and you know that this one is good and the other one is evil, what intelligent human being will choose the evil? Why will you choose the evil? It's like when I give you 2 cups of water and you're very thirsty, right? And I'm telling you in advance, the right cup is a pure water. The left cup is a pure water mixed with poison that could kill you. Free will. There is a free will in this case. If you want to be able to stay alive, you'll never consider to take the poison. If you decided to commit suicide, you'll not consider to take the pure water. Why to extend your suffering from life, right? If you decided to commit suicide. So either way, there is no free will. If you have 2 options and it's very clear to you that this is good and the other one is evil, why anyone will choose the evil? It's poison. So we have to understand the system. In order for us to be a free willer, we have to think, we have to have the ability to think that if we will choose the evil, we'll gain something from it. If it will be very clear that if you will choose the evil, you will only get negative, complete negative, you will never choose it. So in order to be a free willer, God has to make the system in a way that there will be good and there will be evil. But the evil should sell itself to be an alternative to the good. So how the system was created? The evil is a poison covered with a candy. Meaning, there is a temptation to take the evil, even though you know it's evil, because, let's say, it's yummy. Will give you some pleasure, even though it's wrong. Now, many people who choose evil, when they have 2 options, in many cases, in most of the cases, they know in advance that it's wrong. Why they do it anyways? Because of the temptation. The temptation is the candy that cover the poison. Got it? So, and this temptation has so much power. What is the power? The power that it could twist your mind. Because if you were a computer, you have only your ability to think, and you realize right and wrong, you will never choose wrong. Never. The temptation could break your ability to think right. And even cause you, if you were not strong enough, to choose wrong just because of the small benefit that it gives you at the moment, right? This temptation called Hana'a Shel Chet, a pleasure of sin. There is such a thing. Now, there is a real pleasure. There is a real pleasure, but this pleasure, we have to really understand it in order to put it in its place. If someone did something wrong, his mind tells him, don't do it, it's wrong. But the temptation says, do it anyways, because it gives you pleasure. So they have to give you this alternative could not lie to you. It must give you real pleasure. But what is the problem with this pleasure? This pleasure is very temporary. You could see that when people choose to do wrong because of the pleasure, they will have the pleasure until they will do the wrong action. Right after they finish to do the wrong action, the pleasure is gone. And only frustration stayed. So not every pleasure is like this. As we spoke about this when we talk about the system of free will, that the difference between doing the right thing to doing the wrong thing with pleasure, you're doing the wrong thing because of the pleasure. Right after you finish it, there is no pleasure anymore. But when you do a right thing, you have a pleasure, and the pleasure stays with you forever. This is the difference. But the temporary pleasure of the evil has so much power that most of the people, most of the time, fall in it and twist their mind, right? So now we realize what caused intelligent person to choose wrong. The fake pleasure that the sin gives it. Why it's fake? Because it's not staying. Now imagine a person did many sins in his life. And at certain point in his life, he started to think about his action, his way of life, and he started to take his life in his hand. And he said, no more, I was stupid, I was silly, I was young, I was not responsible, not anymore. In other words, he became Baal Tshuva. He wants to be a good person from now on. Now, okay, you could change your life from now on, but what about all the things that you did already? They have impact on you. They have impact on other people. You cannot take them out of the of your account. It's there. You did it. So you can change from now on. So how the tshuva work? The tshuva meaning returning, or you could fix. You don't just fix from now on. You could fix even the past. And here comes this idea of suffering. Suffering could fix or eliminate the negative impact. Because what led you to do the negative stuff? The fake pleasure. What is the opposite of pleasure? Suffering. So therefore suffering has a power to eliminate sins. Now when you do tshuva, it's a different story. It's even bigger. You do not need the suffering. But I just explained why suffering without tshuva, how suffering could eliminate the negative impact. Because the negative came because of the fake pleasure. To fix it, you have to do just the opposite, to go through just the opposite of pleasure, which is the suffering. This is the logic why suffering eliminates sins. Okay? So let's go back to our person. Go back upstairs to the court. Suffering. So they have a way to weigh all the suffering that this person went through in his life and see how much of it will eliminate the negative impact of his action. Let's say it's 1/3. So 1/3, after you take into account the suffering, is erased. Now in a way it's good, right? It's erased. It's not in the account. But in a way it's tragic. Why? Because if this is the 100% of what person could do in their life, you know what that means? Only this stayed. The 10%. In the good case, this 90 will be erased. If it will be erased, it means that at the end of it, after all of this will be erased, we'll see through all these 3 systems, after all of this will be erased, what left from this person? 10%. It could be more, but this is the thing. You could, if you make negative, you're going to pay for it. After you pay for it, you are not in credit. In the good case, you are in 0. So you waste your time. You waste your life. But okay, let's see how it works later. Fine. Suffering erased 1/3. Now we go into purification system number 2. It's called death. Now let me tell you something that you probably do not know. There is the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, בדף ח', the Gemara says the following: 903 מיני מיתה נבראו בעולם. There are many ways to finish the life in this world, but there are 903 major ways of how the soul after 120 separate the body. It's hinted in a pasuk, in a verse in Tehillim. There is a verse in Tehillim says, Lamavet totzaot. Lamavet totzaot. It's a pasuk in Tehillim. So if you take, it speaks about death, and it says totzaot. Totzaot are results. Lamavet totzaot, results. Totzah, it's a result. Says the Gemara, totzaot begimatria hachi havu. Totzaot, if you take the letters of the word totzaot in Hebrew and turn it to numbers, you will get over here 400, 6, 90, 1, 6, and 400. Altogether, it will be 903. 903 kinds of death. Now, there are in a spectrum or in levels. So says the Gemara the following: Kasha shebekulam askera, nicha shebekulam nishika. There are the easier way for the neshama to separate the body is called mitat neshika, a death of kiss, in the kiss. It's like when you kiss someone, you take out from them something, you know, when you kiss, that easy way for the soul to separate the body. Now I have to understand why it's hard for the soul to separate the body. Because since this person was born, even 9 months before, they are together, the body and the soul. Now, who is in what? The soul is in the body. The soul is in the body. Now, when the time of the death comes, the soul get out of the body. But the soul do not want to get out of the body because the soul will feel comfortable inside the body. There are 903 ways of the soul to separate the body. Easy way and the hardest way. The hardest way called mitat askera. Mitat askera is a death caused by the neck being closed. I mean, the Knan Shima, I don't know how to say it in English, the Ahomin Knan Shima, you know? Respiratory, okay, the way you breathe, right? So this one become mitnapeach, how do you say that? Swallow in a way that it will swallow in a way that will close. And the death will be bechenek. This is chenek. Choking. And this this is the worst way for the soul to separate the body. In between those two, mitat neshika, death by look like a kiss or choking, there are 901 in between, from harder to the easiest. Now, in any case, it's hard for the soul to separate the body. This by itself is another purification system that will be taken account upstairs in the court how this person passed away. And let's say again that the death has a power to erase 1/3. It could be, of course, different depending on what kind of death. It could be different the percentage, but let's say 1/3 of all the negative actions are eliminated, erased by the death. So now the death occurred, the body is in the ground, the soul is upstairs with only 1/3 of the negative things, the negative impacts. Because 1/3 was eliminated by suffering, 1/3 by the death, and now we left with 1/3. Of course, it could be different, could be all the percentage could be changed, depend on the person, but I'm talking about an example, okay? Now, what's the soul? Now, okay, if you put together everything. So after suffering and death, 60% of the action of this person are gone. What left? The 10% of merits, and now the 1/3 that stayed or left after suffering and after death. Now, let's go back again. If the soul, after, let's say, suffering and death, erased all the negative impact, this soul will go straight to the Garden of Eden with the 10% of good things that she did, that this soul did with the body, and that's it. But if there is another more stuff to eliminate that was not eliminated by suffering and death, even though there are good stuff that could give it the merit to be in the Garden of Eden, the rule is that you could not enter the Garden of Eden with even one small thing that negative. You have to clean it up. For that comes the third system called Gehinom. What is Gehinom? Gehinom is a washing machine. Let's make it this example of a washing machine. And it's not my idea. It says in the Gemara. The Gemara is not speaking, of course, about a washing machine, but look at this Gemara. The Gemara says the following. This is Gemara in Masechet Shabbat. תנו רבנן, והרוח תשוב אל האלוהים אשר נתנה. תנה לו כמו שנתנה לך. We say every morning, אלוקיי נשמה שנתת בי. מודה אני לפניך שהחזרת בי נשמתי. We got our soul from Hashem. Now, this Gemara bring a parable, and it's very deep and important one. Listen to this. The king is Hashem. God gave us our soul. We said about the soul, Elokai neshama shenatata bi tehorai. Our soul is purified. The Gemara bring a parable. Imagine a king. Mashal lemelech, basar v'dam, human king, shechilek bigdei malchut la'avadav. He has servants, and he gave them a very, very nice clothes. Very nice suits, bigdei malchut, meaning very expensive and nice clothes. Now they are his servants, his slaves. He told them, listen, I'm giving you those clothes will be for special occasions. When I'll call you to come to a party, when I'll send you in a diplomatic, let's say, mission or something, you have to wear this very nice, expensive clothes. So keep your eyes on them. Keep them nice. Don't wear them out. משל למלך בשר ודם שחילק בגדי מלכות לעבדיו. פיקחים שבהם, the clever ones of the servants, קיפלום והניחום בקופסה. They took it seriously, they fold them nicely and put them in a place that they will not get dirty. In order that when the king will invite them to some event, they will have them nice and clean. טיפשים שבהם, the fools ones, the stupid ones of them, הלכו ועשו בהם מלאכה. They wear them up, and they did all the works, and of course they make them dirty. לימים ביקש המלך את כליו. One day, the king says, okay, I want you to wear this clothes and come to me. פיקחים שבהם החזירום לו כשהם מגועצים. He said to them, okay, return the clothes. I want to see how did you keep them. So the clever one give it to the king in a very proper way, the way they got it. טיפשים שבהם החזירום לו כשהם מלוכלכים. So in this exam, he want to examine how they returned it to him with all the dirt and all the stains. שמח המלך לקראת פיקחים וכעס לקראת טיפשים. So he was very happy with the clever ones that keep them in the proper way, and he was very mad, very angry on those stupid people, stupid servants that make them dirty. על פיקחים אמר, יינתנו כלי לאוצר והם ילכו לבתיהם לשלום. On the clever ones, they say, okay, those uniforms or those clothes are in a proper way, put them back in the treasure place, and you could go home. On the dirty clothes of the stupid ones, ועל טיפשים אמר, כלי יינתנו לכובס, I have to put them in laundry, to clean up all the dirt that they made. והם יתחבשו בבית הסוהרים, they will go to jail. So says the Gemara, so you understand the things, the way I call it washing machine, because if someone after 100, now the clothing, the nice clothing are the neshama. The body is the servant. The nice clothing are the souls. So each one of us get a very clean and purified neshama. This neshama was put in the body, and now the question is, how do you manage your life? It's okay to play, but don't make neshama dirty. After 120, you have to return it. If you return it dirty, you will be like those servants who made the big day malchus, the clothing, or the uniform of the king. They will make them dirty. So what will be the story? They could not stay dirty. So they had to go to the laundry, the clothes, to clean up, and the body will be going sent to jail. That's what the Gemara says. אף הקדוש ברוך הוא על גופם של צדיקים אמר יבוא בשלום ינוחו משכבותם. They go to the grave, all of them go to the grave, but ועל נשמתם הוא אומר והייתה נפש אדוני צרורה בצרור החיים. The neshama go, it's purified, and it's go to the place, צרור החיים, it's Gan Eden here. על גופם של רשעים הוא אומר אין שלום אמר השם לרשעים, they're going to be suffering. ועל נשמתם הוא אומר, ואת נפש אויביך יקלענה בתוך כף הקלע. And כף הקלע here is this system that clean it up. Now, what is Gehinom? Gehinom is a purification system. Let me repeat this. I think I spoke about this last week, but it's important to repeat this. Take a white shirt. Very good quality, you know, very expensive, very good quality white shirt, and put it on, let's say, 30 kindergarten kids at the last day of their year in the kindergarten. Next year they're going to first grade, right? So put it on them for the celebration, will be a party, the end of the year. So imagine that few days before, a letter was sent to the parents and said, make sure that your children will come, they are 5 years old, make sure that they will come to school at the last day of the year with a very clean, nice shirt, white shirt. So imagine 30 kids, 7 in the morning, the mother put on them this white shirt, and told them, listen, today, they told us, will be a regular day, only at the last hour will be the party. So you have, let's say, you're going from 8, let's say, to 3, until 2 will be a regular day, in 2 o'clock will be a party. Be careful, you could play today also, but make sure not to make your shirt dirty. 30 kids will hear the same thing from their parents, but each one of them has a different character. Some of them will be very serious. They say, you know what, I'll play today, but I will not play with something dirty that could make my shirt dirty. Some of them heard it, didn't care, and play with it. So they, I don't know, they painted with it, and some of the paint went on the white shirt, and it's not that white anymore. Some of them play with, I don't know, heavy dirt. We getting to 2 o'clock. In 2 o'clock, they have to go to the party. So there is a guard in the place where will be the party. And he will check each kid how white and clean his shirt is. So come the first one, let's say, he was a nice guy, He played, but he was very, very careful. So some, a little dirt that could go like this, you clean it up, send him in. The other one has paint on it. The other one has tarp on it. The other one has oil on it. So anyone who has no white, nice shirt could not go to the party. But everyone should be in the party. So there is, in the waiting room to the room when the party is going to take place, a small room of laundry, washing machines. These washing machines are the most amazing washing machine ever. They could clean up everything. No, now think about it. White shirt with even tarp or something really dirty that got into it. Philosophically, there are two things, the shirt and the dirt. But when the dirt is so, the shirt absorbs the dirt, you need specific detergent in order to separate them. So, could be many kinds of detergents, stronger and less stronger. In the cycle, the washing machine could be a very fast one, the temperature of the water. So here we have in this imaginary laundry room washing machines that could clean any shirt. No shirt could, no way that there's no possibility that they have no way to take out the dirt. But what is the problem? When you use very strong detergent, it could ruin the shirt itself. Let's say it's attack the paint, the dirt, take it out, but it will ruin the shirt. So here we have a very sophisticated detergents that no one yet invented. I think when someone will invent something, it will be making good money, right? That could take out any dirt, but not ruin the original material. Now, we take the shirt, put it in the computer, see exactly how many stains and how strong. And for each stain, there is a program how to take it out. Now, the washing machine works for 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, all the shirt from the other side, after the treatment, will be clean, nice, the way the first day they came out from the factory. But the process will go through the separation between the stains and the shirt itself with a program that fits to do it. So in a way, it's very easy. The children could make themselves dirty. There is a washing machine who will clean it up, right? So when comes the 2 o'clock, we'll take off the shirts out of the kids, put it in the washing machine, 12 minutes, you have a right uniform to go in. The problem is that you cannot take it out of the kid. You have to put the washing machine with the kid in the washing machine. And more than that, before you do that, you do an operation in the kid and take one of his very sensitive nerves and put them, actually they are there, you do not have to do this operation, but put the edge of those nerves in the connection between the stain, the dirt, and the shirt. Now you put them in the washing machine with it, so any cycle of the washing machine, the temperature of the water, the strongest will be felt very, very well in the nerve system. So imagine, the more it will be dirt, the more you need the scream of the child will be according. So this is the problem, this is Gehinnom. This is this purification system. After Gehinnom, after 12 months, let's see this source, 5 דברים, אצל משנה עם מסכת עדויות, פרק ב' משנה י', 5 דברים של 12 חודש. So it's not 12 seconds or 12 minutes, it's 12 months. משפט דור המבול 12 חודש, משפט איוב 12 חודש, משפט המצרים 12 חודש, משפט גוג ומגוג לעתיד לבוא 12 חודש, משפט, the last one, there are 5 things, is number 5, משפט רשעים בגיהינום 12 חודש. Meaning, the max time, the maximum time that you could be in Gehinnom is 12 months. Not one day, more than 12 months. But after those 12 months, those are the washing machines that clean up any stain. Nothing will be left. Now, anyone who needs Gehinnom will be there for 12 months with the program that fit his stains in order to take them away. So Gehinnom is different between person to person because we do not know who need to go this or who did tshuva before and who the suffering and the death took away everything. We are considering that every person who passed away will have to go through this purification system for 12 months, but after 12 months, his soul is completely clean. All the negative impact will be gone either by tshuva, either by yisurim, either by tshuva and yisurim and mita and the death, either yisurim, mita, suffering, death, and Gehinnom, which is a purification system after for the soul only. Because what we spoke about is physical, but we're talking about the neshama because the body is in the ground. This suffering system is for the soul, but after that the soul will be completely clean, and with the good deeds, the merits that this person has, with this he's going to Gan Eden, to the Garden of Eden. And Garden of Eden is not the ultimate reward. It's a very, very good place to be for the soul, but it's not Olam Haba. It's not the world to come. The world to come is completely different. It's the eternity. And we're talking about people who passed away until the end of the 6,000s. The staying in Gan Eden is just until the end of the 6,000 years. Before the 6,000 years will be done, will be 2 major events. Tchiyat HaMetim, resurrection of the dead, that this soul, after it was in Gan Eden, the time will get back to this world, the body will get out of the grave and be rebuilt the way it used to be, and the soul will go into it. This is the resurrection of the dead, Tchiyat HaMetim. Tchiyat HaMetim will follow by the day of judgment. Remember, we spoke about 3 days of judgment, we talk about 2. Rosh Hashanah every year, the beginning of the year, the judgment at the day of when the person passed away, and the last one will be at the end of the 6 millennia, at the end of the 6,000 years. It will be, it's called by the words of the prophets, Yom Hadin HaGadol VeHaNorah. This is the judgment day. What will be the judge then? The judgment there will be about who, from all the people who were in the world, from the beginning of the creation to the end of the 6,000 years, who from them has a portion in the world to come and who doesn't. So this is the last day of judgment that will be at the end of the 6,000. This is the system in general. So we spoke today about 2 things, 2 options out of the 4 that I mentioned before. Either going straight to the Garden of Eden after 120, or going through Gehinnom, which is a purification system, a washing machine, and after that being in Gan Eden, and then we'll wait there until the Tchiyat HaMetim. There are another 2 options that I assume in the beginning that we will not have time today to talk about, and this is the Kaf HaKela, the sling, and the reincarnation. Very interesting information in this, but not today. That will wait for the next time. And I guess the next time will be next Sunday, because next Wednesday is Purim. So, Bezrat Hashem will continue this on Sunday. Okay, that's it for today, and thank you for listening.
You missed on the 2 days from now or Sunday?